You reach over, switch off the bedside lamp, and the flat drywall above you disappears. In its place is an infinite, deep space night sky. Hundreds of individual pinpricks of light glow overhead. Constellations twinkle in the dark. Shooting stars streak across the ceiling, all dialed in and controlled from an app on your phone. But you can't buy a mat of stars, unroll it, and tape it to the ceiling. Creating a personal cosmos requires an intense, permanent structural commitment to the architecture of your house. Because right above that serene, expansive view lies a dark, cramped crawl space, packed with insulation, wooden joists, and a chaotic web of electronics. To build this quiet universe, someone has to climb up into that heat and dust and execute one of the most tedious, repetitive engineering projects you can take on in a home. The magic of the illusion holds up down below entirely because of the agonizing manual labor locked away directly above it. To avoid looking sparse, a realistic star ceiling needs 3 individual stars per square foot. In a standard 12 by 12 room, you need 432 points of light. That requires managing a raw bundle of 500 nearly invisible fiber optic strands, and these fibers do not behave well. There is a surprising amount of friction between the bare acrylic strands. Try to pull a few away, and the entire mass clings together, quickly becoming a giant, frustrating bird's nest. Taming them takes hours. You have to patiently isolate small groups, wrap them in zip ties to form manageable subbundles, and label where each group needs to go. Then comes the haul. You carry these fragile, loosely grouped bundles up the ladder and crawl through the attic joists, trying desperately not to let them intermingle and tangle all over again in the dark. The final ceiling relies on an illusion of beautiful, natural randomness. But achieving that requires strict, obsessive cable management behind the drywall. Before a single fiber is placed, you stand in the bedroom below with a star map, drilling hundreds of tiny 0.75mm holes into the ceiling overhead. Back up in the attic, you sit in the insulation, separate one single fiber from your subbundle, locate a speck of light poking up from the room below, and push the thread through the drywall. To lock it in place, you dab a single drop of standard multipurpose white glue around the hole. Then you repeat that exact sequence 431 more times. Once the glue dries, you return to the bedroom. Right now, the ceiling looks like an upside-down porcupine, with hundreds of long, rigid plastic hairs dangling down. This cross-section shows the precise optical trick to finishing them. If you cut the fibers perfectly flush with the drywall, you get a tiny, harsh pinpoint of light. Instead, you leave exactly 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch protruding. The light exits the tip, bounces back up against the ceiling paint, and diffuses. That tiny gap creates a soft halo around the center point, turning a flat LED beam into a star with true 3-dimensional depth. The source of all this light sits safely in the attic, up to 40 feet away from the furthest strand, an RGB-W light engine. All those hundreds of fibers bundle backward into this single box. Using a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth controller, the engine pulses the light, sending twinkling, firefly, or raindrop patterns shooting down the acrylic highways. But this installation carries a severe architectural penalty. Once you trim those fibers, you can never, ever repaint this ceiling. Even if you use the exact same color, a single roll of fresh paint will coat those exposed 1/4-inch tips. The acrylic will be permanently blinded, and your starlight system will be ruined instantly. Then you clean up all the dust, turn off the Me room lights, and fire up the engine for the first time. The drywall vanishes. The deep space opens up. You have a tranquil, perfectly silent universe all to yourself. And the view is deeply satisfying, specifically because you know the sheer amount of chaotic, permanent labor it took to build it.